Today is National Mammography Day. It's observed every October as part of Breast Cancer Awareness Month and serves as a reminder to all women that mammograms are vitally important to detect the early stages of breast cancer. We know early detection can be a lifesaver. According to the CDC, breast cancer is the second most common cancer for women in the U.S. Black women die from breast cancer at a higher rate than white women. But screenings like mammography reduce the mortality rate by 30%. Joining me now is Dr. Scott DiGregorio, the Director of Breast Imaging for the Valley Hospital and practices out of Radiology Associates of Richwood. Doctor, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
Let's talk about why it's so important that women get a mammogram.
Screening mammography, as you said, has been shown to reduce the mortality of breast cancer, by approximately 30%. And actually, recent data has shown that mortality reduction may be as much as 40% with the newer technology. That mortality reduction has been instrumental in the treatment of breast cancer.
So often, the dates of and ages of when you're supposed to get certain tests change. So what is the age that women should be getting mammography?
So yes, many conflicting recommendations have been coming out in the last few years. And so what I think is the important thing to note is that all of the societies that treat and diagnose breast disease on a daily basis, which include the American College of Radiology, the Society of Breast Imaging, the American College of Obstetrics and Gynecology, and the American Society of Breast Surgeons, and I know I'm forgetting some, and I apologize for that, but they all recommend annual screening mammography beginning at the age of 40.
40?
Exactly.
Okay. Now, what if you have a family history of breast cancer?
So if you have a family history of breast cancer, if you have a first-degree relative that was diagnosed with premenopausal breast cancer, we recommend beginning the age of screening 10 years before that relative was diagnosed, if that starts beginning earlier than the age of 40. So, for example, unfortunately, my wife was diagnosed at the age of 37, so my daughter would have to start screening at the age of 27. So whatever age is earlier, age 40 or 10 years before the youngest first-degree relative was diagnosed.
Okay, so it's so important to know the family history and for people to be open about it, because if you don't know you have a history of it, you're not going to get tested early enough.
Correct.
All right. Many women were shocked to hear that Katie Couric was diagnosed after being late to get her annual screening. Are you finding that a lot of women skip screenings because of the pandemic?
Yes. Anecdotally, and there's also been literature that has shown that there's been delayed diagnosis because of the pandemic. Women are coming for mammography later, and we're finding cancer at later stages because of the pandemic.
No, definitely true, because nobody wants to go get a mammography, and then if they're closing down hospitals and that sort of thing, you can really put that off. Now, besides being awkward, mammograms can be painful.
Yes.
A study found that 70% of women have some degree of discomfort during the procedure, but we understand that some hospitals, like the Valley Hospital, now offer a solution. Tell us about the Smart Curve.
Yes, so a company called Hologic has come out with a new technology called the Smart Curve paddle, which can reduce the pain of mammography. Pain is kind of the necessary evil of mammography because we have to compress the breast to better detect the breast cancer. And so as we're compressing the breast, we used to use a flat paddle to compress the breast. And so a Smart Curve will let me just show you the difference. So a flat paddle obviously has a very flat
base,
exactly, a flat curve, whereas a Smart Curve paddle has a more curved contour to compress the breast, which basically molds the contour of the breast. And so that more evenly distributes the force of compression against the breast to basically more evenly distribute the force to make the compression a little bit more tolerable, and more evenly distribute the force to make the pressure a little bit less and make it less painful.
Is this test as accurate as the other tests?
Yes, they did studies while they were looking for FDA approval, and it showed that the quality of the image is as good as the regular compression.
All right. what would you say to people? I think the biggest thing is they're afraid. They're afraid that the test is going to be too painful. They're afraid, you know, they don't quite know what's going to happen. What would you say to them?
I would say to not, well, obviously, this isn't going to be a day at the spa. I mean, it's not the most comfortable procedure, but talk to the technologist and discuss your fear with them. They can, obviously the technologist knows that this is not a comfortable procedure, and they are trained to work with you to work with you and manage your comfort to make it as comfortable as possible. And obviously, they will work with you and make it as comfortable as possible. And we get notes when we're reading mammograms, we get notes all the time where it says the patient was sensitive to compression, and they will make it a little less tight and work with the compression as much as possible. And I see it all the time where patient is sensitive to compression, and the quality of the mammogram is as good as any other mammogram that we see.
And it's life-saving.
Yes.
Doctor, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me.
And I will just tell you that I've had tons and tons of mammograms, and it's not that bad. It's not that bad. So, all right. For more information about the Smart Curve mammogram, go to our website, cbsnewyork.com. We'll be right back.